All right. Lots of stuff going on, and I want to share with you a couple of things. One of them is another one of the doo-doo alerts, the terrible spills they always have in Panama City, and the priorities of the Panama City Commission. But also, Nikes. Mexico beach officials are scared to death, and so are officials in Washington County. And I'm gonna show you what they're up to and the kind of stuff that they're saying. But before I do, I want to hit Panama City Beach because I usually share this information at the end of the show. Tonight I want to share this 1 minute piece of information before we get started on the other stuff because it's important. If you're in Panama City Beach or anywhere really, if you give a damn about transparency and honest government, you know that Mayor Mark Money Mover Sheldon is as bad as they get. He's as opportunistic and dishonest and secretive and a crony as they get. Other than that, I really don't have a problem with him. Mayor Mark Sheldon is pushing for a $10 million pedestrian bridge to connect Frank Brown Park to Aaron Besant Park. It's great for music festivals. It's the city's #1 priority this year. They've got a bunch of projects, and they plan to spend $236 million. 2 years ago, the budget for the city was only $42 million. That's why locals are paying so much more in assessments to the city. Mayor Sheldon says it's worth it. After all, he owns Gulf Coast Jam. The city's #1 priority will benefit his music festivals. He wants more state and federal grant money as a slush fund.
These are significant projects that will make a huge difference in our community. The first is to pursue any available state aid for the planning, design, and environmental studies related to a pedestrian bridge connecting Aaron Besant Park and Frank Brown Park. This walkover would link these two public parks and provide a safer avenue for our residents.
Hand caught in the cookie jar? Sometimes bad habits continue even into adulthood. I'm El Saline, 850-215-0628. Let me help you.
All right, I'm going to show you the doo-doo alert that came out today in Panama City right after this. Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. Look at this. You can actually sign up to receive these emails, all right? Because if you leave it up to WMBB or the News Herald or the Panama City Commission, you're probably not going to hear about this. Now, you might smell it, you might see it, and you might wonder why for so long, so much sewage has spilled into the streets, to parks, to the water. Look at this. This is today's. Now, they don't show up like this. I've sort of dressed it up a bit. This is from, this comes from the state's Department of Environmental whatever. And this happened, this alert came today. Now, the incident happened 2 days ago at 410 North Bonita Avenue in Millville, at the Millville AWT facility. 410 North Bonita Avenue. And here's how they describe it. Since we've been pointing this out, they don't call it pollution anymore. They don't call it sewage. They called it sewage the first time. Now they're using euphemisms, all right? Listen to this. The fitting on the bypass pump discharge line leaked, causing the loss of 3,000 gallons of untreated shit water. Okay? That's what it really is, but they call it effluent now. You get one of these and you say, oh, God, thank goodness. I thought it was going to be, sewage. Honey, it's just effluent. I don't know what effluent is, babe, but can you bring me another beer before it starts? I said that there was a pollution alert today. I know, can you just get me another beer before? And he grabs the remote control. You know, he's, before it starts, can you get me another beer? And the wife says, honey, why don't you listen to anything? And by the way, why didn't you mow the lawn today? And the husband says, it's starting. I will be here all week and just come for the jokes. All right, anyway, it's starting. They call it effluent. Look, watch. Untreated effluent. Oh, thank goodness. I thought it was going to be sewage. Sewage is what they're talking about. I cannot believe this. But it was just onto the ground, though, so that's better. There was no spill to water or storm drains. Just effluent on the ground. Whoever's using the word effluent, I don't like it. I almost called you a name, but that really wouldn't have been fair. But you ought to use the real word. It's sewage. All right. The liquid was recovered. Only 100 gallons out of 3,000 was recovered. You got to look closely at this stuff. And there was also, don't worry, the reason they won't bring this up at the Panama City Commission meeting tomorrow morning, well, the reason they won't do that is because they're too busy. Oh, man, I swear I want to let it rip. Oh, they're too busy stroking St. Joe's ego. How about that? I cleaned that up. They're too busy doing what, the William Harrisons. He's the big kingmaker that pulls the strings over there. They love him. He used to be the St. Joe lobbyist, big lawyer, kingmaker, biggest in Bay County. William Harrison. They're too busy stroking his ego. See how I clean things up? That's why they don't take care of this stuff. And I just can't believe that residents don't show up and ask them why is this still going on like it is? About 6 years ago, about 6 years, 7 maybe, somebody used to send me pictures of all this nasty stuff that happens. And I used to think, wow. I said, why don't you cover this more? I really want to, but, I'm so focused on Panama City Beach. It's crazy. It's crazy how much effluent. I just don't hear. There's going to be all kinds of stuff talked about at the early Panama City. Panama City has their meetings early, too, by the way. The other cities meet at like 9 o'clock. Panama City's starts at 8 o'clock prompt. It's a business meeting. That's why. That's what they call it. I got to tell you, I hate when politicians call it a business meeting. They're not conducting business. They're conducting government. It's not a business meeting. Well, it's where we all get together and sign contracts and make a lot of money, Bernie. You're right about that. I have to say, that's true. But it's supposed to be a government meeting. There's a big difference. I'm telling you there is. You say, Bernie, I want government to run like a business. It can't. It's impossible. Because of natural incentives, it's impossible. I want it too. We want good business practices. Because it's not their money. They're playing with other people's money for the benefit of other people. So therefore, they don't have a real incentive to watch the price or the quality. That's what happens when you spend other people's money on somebody else. And when you do it for votes or kickbacks, that's a double whammy, triple whammy. It's not a business meeting, damn it. It's a government meeting. And that's how it should be treated. I wonder how much government they're going to talk about. Projects. We got a 5-year plan, a 50-year plan. We have a 50-year economic plan. We're part of the St. Joe economic plan. Got a plan for the future, Bernie. Economic planners suck. And Americans used to know that. When I was growing up, oh, here we go with this. It's starting. Bring me another. When I was growing up, I learned that in the Soviet Union, the government plans everything, you know. They take from the people and they plan everything. The problem with government planners is, there's a great book written about it if you care. There's a book called The Road to Serfdom, all right, written by F.A. Hayek. He was the economist that won the Nobel Prize in 1974. Okay, F.A. Hayek. He wrote a book called The Road to Serfdom. And in this book, he talks about what he called the fatal conceit of economic planners. It's so good. You really ought to know this stuff. And I read it a lot. I mean, I know about this stuff, but I've never, until I got here, I never paid that much attention to local government, and I never really saw why economic planners suck. Because they can't anticipate things, and the major reason is they don't pay up cost for their mistakes. Golly, I remember Panama City. No, it was Bay County, the Bay County Commission. Oh, Miss Sarah Moon, what was the name of that again? Shady Shad. What was the name of that whole thing? What was that thing called again? You had economic menses like Guy Tennell, the former sheriff, the former county commissioner. He was saying that this company that they paid, how much money was it again? They paid all this money to this dude named Shad Wheeler. This was like 2014, 2015. And it was for this company. What was the name of that company? I'm going to look. Yeah, Red Pine. Oh, you ought to search it. If you want to see what I'm talking about, search Red Pine. This dude, Shady Shad Wheeler, whose father invented Bowflex or something like that. I'm not joking. He went to all these counties and cities all over the country, and they all said, "Are you crazy? Get out of here, you fraud." But Guy Tennell and Mike Thomas and George Gaynor, the economic menses that sat on the county commission, Guy Tennell said that, what was the business again? Whatever damn business, Red Pine, they're going to create so many jobs. How many times have you heard politicians say this? They're going to create X amount of jobs. They know X amount of jobs. There's going to be $80,000 salary. You're watching WMBB. You say, "Babe, I'm ready to talk now. You don't have to bring me another one. Babe, we're going to have great economic opportunity." Thanks, Guy Tennell. Thanks, George Gaynor. Thanks, Mike Thomas. How many times have they promised you this? Jellyfish. Remember Jellyfish? It was a secret it's like World War II thing, man. It's like a top secret. Jellyfish is a software company that's, look at the nice building right across the street down here, downtown Panama City. Boy, they're going to create so many jobs. I mean, hell, all the promises they've made, everybody here should have an $80,000 job. How many times do people fall for this? Oh, I'm sorry, economic planners. Well, they're doing it again in Panama City, boy, tomorrow. Anything they want, they'll be stroking their egos. I really want to say it. I really want to say it, but I'm not because I'm disciplined. All right, I've got so much. I got to tell you about Mexico Beach. All right, so yeah, another doo-doo alert. Now let me show you this. So this was last week, and this is WMBB. Brady Calhoun, speaking of effluent, speaking of toxic propaganda. So Mexico Beach has a new mayor since April, Michelle Miller. And she is a tremendous threat to the big developers, the St. Joe Company, and their desire to create an outfall project before they ever restore the pier with $100 million they got from FEMA. They bring in their guy, their FEMA representative, Ryan, whatever his name is, Ryan so-and-so. for Atkinson Emergency Management. They're the consultants. Hey, will you guys come in here and let everybody know, the guy, the idiot on Facebook that's always questioning us, where did all that FEMA money go? Well, says the consultant that they hired. Well, $49 million went to debris cleanup. I'm going, holy shnikes, $49 million went to debris cleanup. We better check the contractor invoices. No, don't do that. Let's start after that, Bernie, because after that, like 10 different agencies reviewed this. Oh, really? Does it look like $100 million went through Mexico Beach? Well, Bernie, some of us are making out on it. Yeah. Like the old mayor, Al Cathy, while he was the mayor, he also owns Ace Hardware. Turns out, now that Michelle Miller's there, nobody else ever told us, Michelle Miller discovered, the new mayor, that the former mayor was also a vendor of the city. Get a load of this. Hundreds, I don't know how many. I'm going to guess $500,000. $500,000. It's close. I'm probably short balling it just a little bit. Is that the right term? Anyway, the former mayor, like $500,000. The city paid his hardware store. Sheriff Tommy Ford, he's not curious at all. He's curious what's in my backyard, but he ain't curious about what's going on with Ace Hardware. The FBI, no idea. No idea. If $100 million of that I was overseeing flowed through Mexico Beach with Mario Gisbert and Al Cathy and Doug Baber, and now we've got, what's his name again? Chris Hubbard. We got Chris Hubbard. I got to show you what he just posted. He's the new city administrator. They don't even have a city manager. It's not that kind of government. It's a strong mayor government. No, Bernie, it's a weak mayor government. Just look at the Florida League of Cities. Yeah. You know why the Florida League of Cities lists Mexico Beach as a weak mayor form of government? Because either Mario Gisbert or Doug Baber called him and told him that. That's why. Oh my God. That's the reason why. But the city charter says something else entirely. And that's what her lawsuit's about. You see, her lawsuit is asking the judge, can we get an evidentiary hearing, and Your Honor, and take a look at this, please? Rather than listening what the Three Stooges are doing. You got Adrian Drama Queen Welly, who's up for re-election in April. Any wagers that he doesn't run again? These are 2-year terms. I bet you Drama Queen doesn't run again. Or let's see, who else? Richard Iron Fist Wolf. He's up for re-election. He's the guy that slams his fist on the table and yells at Michelle Miller. He likes to yell at ladies. Or Bad Liability. Do you want to know why I called Jerry Smith Bad Liability Smith? I'll show you. You want to see? This is why, in case you ever wonder, why the hell does Bernie always say bad liability when he's talking about Jerry Smith? Well, because he was explaining when Michelle Miller won why she should not, as the mayor, as the chief elected fiscal official of the city, why she should not be able to see all the financial stuff in the city. He said it would be a bad liability. This is Jerry Smith, the councilman in Mexico Beach.
And it's a very much a liability, bad liability.
Bad. If this broad gets in there, bad liability. Let's get Chris Hubbard back because Doug Baber, the city administrator, he punched out. He left. And so did his assistant. It's a long story, but let me show you what's going on over there. All right, so the new city administrator, her lawsuit. So her lawsuit is simply saying, hey, y'all got to follow the charter, okay? And not only do you have to follow the charter, But you got to stop guarding the hen house. All right? They say, no, we have Mexico Beach. Mexico Beach has a company that does accounting, but it's like a software accounting firm. And the company gives Mexico Beach like 2 or 3 administrative keys to they have full access to all the financial records. And whoever holds these administrative keys, they can give other people access, right? So let's play a little game. If you're Mexico Beach and the company that you pay as your accounting firm, and it's an online system, and there's, say, 2, let's just say 2, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 of these people, they're the ones who can see everything. And they're the ones who decide who has access. Who do you think the 2 people ought to be? Do you think it should be a contracted accountant lady? Or do you think it should be her boyfriend, the current city administrator? Should they be the only 2 with the administrative keys? And they're the ones who decide how much access the chief elected fiscal officer of the city can see. They're the ones who decide. Or whoever has the keys. Should the chief elected fiscal officer of the city, should that person have to beg for more access? Well, the new city administrator, if he's even that, he posted today. He called the mayor a liar. He's not even a city manager. He's a city administrator. I'm going to show you.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan can make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at pcairrepair.com. Let's start with WMB telling you about the lawsuit, and let's go right to that story.
In the Mexico Beach lawsuit case, Mayor Michelle Miller filed the original lawsuit in September, claiming council members violated the city charter by voting to hire Chris Hubbard as the city administrator and allowing him to be the sole keeper of the city's financial records. Miller also claims she's been denied those records since April. The city's attorney claims Miller's lawsuit is about power and her winding up on the losing side of the council votes. Last week, both sides filed new documents. Miller's attorney is asking Judge James Goodman to remove Hubbard from his position, give her the financial records, and make her fiscal official for the city. The city's attorney responded, saying Miller did not follow proper procedure and is asking the judge to dismiss that motion.
I want you to hear that again.
Last week, both sides filed new.
I want you to hear that again. So WMBB says that Miller is asking a judge to remove the city administrator, which is like a helper to the CFO. And to remove him, that's what she's asking for. To remove him and what was the other thing? And to give her the records or whatever. To make her let's listen.
Documents. Miller's attorney is asking Judge James Goodman to remove Hubbard from his position, give her the financial records, and make her fiscal official for the city.
Make her the fiscal official for the city. This is what WMBB just said. Mayor Miller is asking Judge Goodman to make her the fiscal official of the city. Do you want to know how insane that is? Why doesn't WMBB show you this? All right, this is the actual charter, okay? Look what it says. The mayor shall be the chief elected administrative and fiscal official for the city. Not should be, not could be, not ought to be if Judge Goodman makes her that. The mayor is that. That's the law. What the lawsuit is asking the judge to do is force the lawbreakers on the city council to follow the law and stop breaking the law. That's what they're asking for. Who writes the stuff, do you think? Listen.
The city's attorney is asking Judge James Goodman to remove Hubbard from his position, give her the financial records, and make her fiscal official for the city.
Unbelievable.
The city's attorney responded, saying Miller did not follow proper procedure.
This is what the city's. So the city says, oh, she's costing the city so much money in a lawsuit. No, she's not. No, she's not. The attorney's doing it pro bono. Now, if she wins, yes, of course, the city has to pay the attorney fees. That's standard. But already, the city, these bozos who are hiding everything, they went and got an expensive attorney out of Tallahassee, too, who's charging them a boatload of money, because then all of the people in the skit who are trying to make up this false narrative get to say, oh, look how much she cost the city. The same people who can't account for $100 million of FEMA money. This would be funny if it weren't so infuriating. The most infuriating thing is that so far, nobody's held them accountable. Hopefully, Judge Goodman will force the city to simply follow the charter. That's all. That's it. A writ of mandamus and an injunction. The writ of mandamus says you got to do the right thing, and the injunction says you got to stop doing the wrong things. That's it. The city's lawyer, I can't wait to tell you how much these idiots are throwing at this lawyer whose only defense, so they're the defendant, the city's the defendant. Their defense is that the lawyer, Marie Maddox, representing Mayor Miller, didn't file the lawsuit correctly. That's what the argument. They never deny it. Their affirmative defense is, Your Honor, we think that the lawsuit was filed improperly. That's the defense. Now, for that level of legal scholarship, wait till you find out how much the city's thrown at this attorney so that it can be used as propaganda against Mayor Miller. There is some crooked stuff going on in Mexico Beach with their FACACTA recall. They've got a FACACTA recall. They're trying to recall Mayor Miller by saying she's violating the charter. This would be like, you talk about a level of gaslighting that's off the charts. Imagine this. This is the kind of people you're dealing with. Imagine if you got a cookie jar at the house with my favorite kind of chocolate chip cookies, all right? And everybody goes to bed, the cookies cooled off, they've been put in the cookie jar, and you wake up in the morning getting the kids ready for school, and they're half gone. We all went to bed at like 10:30. The cookie jar's half empty. And so you ask your son, little 12-year-old, you ask, you say, hey, Billy, did you eat the cookies out of the cookie jar? And Billy knows he's in trouble. And he says, no. Hey, Billy, well, I just ate one. Okay. Normal people like Billy couldn't resist, know they're in trouble. When they're lying, their palms are sweaty, they're breathing. They're scared. They're nervous. They know it's wrong. Okay, that's what a normal person would do who did the wrong thing. Billy feels guilty. He knows he's in trouble. He couldn't resist, and he's lying about it. But that's not what these guys in Mexico Beach do. Adrian Welly and these guys, the city attorney, Clint McCahill, here's how they act. Okay, now we're going to make Billy those guys. Here's how they act. Hey, Billy. Hey, Clint McCahill. Hey, Adrian Drama Queen Welly, councilman. Did you eat the cookies last night? No. What happened? I don't know. Look you in the eye with a straight face. You didn't eat the cookies? And here's the difference between Billy and these guys. These guys will look you in the eye and go, no, I didn't eat them. Mom, you did. You ate the cookies. and he'll be so like, oh my God, I raised a good kid. You know, I never knew Adrian to lie. Clint McCahill's always been so upstanding and honest. I can't believe, golly, I did drink a lot of whiskey last night, and there have been times I didn't remember a lot the night before. Maybe I was sleepwalking. Maybe I did eat the cookies. Yeah, you must have. All right, come on, Mom, I got to get to school. We're running late. All of a sudden, Billy wants to get to school on time. All of a sudden, Billy wants to make sure he's to school on time. Look, Mom, I'm all dressed. I'm ready to go. Damn, he's never been ready to go on time. Yeah, that's these guys. That's the level of gaslighting. You're crazy, Mom. I didn't eat all the cookies. You feel bad about it. You go home. You go check the room, you know, make sure he didn't leave any towels on the floor, and all of a sudden you see a bunch of cookie crumbs. Oh, man. I raised a little thief, a little liar, a little gaslighter. That's Mexico Beach. You did it. You have access to the... Oh, let me show you. Let me let this... And I'll show you what the current city administrator, Chris Hubbard, who has all access to the finances. All right, I'm going to show you what he posted today, or I think it was today.
And is asking the judge to dismiss that motion. The judge has not ruled and has not scheduled another hearing.
All right, but hopefully there will be an evidentiary hearing where everybody gets to say the stuff you're about to hear, but only under oath, right? They're supposed to... Michelle Miller, Mayor Miller, and her attorney are asking for, if they were lying, do you think they'd want to all go under oath in front of a judge? Here's what I have discovered in doing this. Here's one way I kind of figure out who I think's probably telling the truth, right? You got one side that is eager to go under oath and talk to the judge. You got another side that posts on Facebook she's a liar and she ate all the cookies, and they don't want an evidentiary hearing. In fact, they want to change the charter. They want to change why would you have to change the charter if the charter doesn't do what she says it does? What it says it does. The side that doesn't want to do it, the side that's saying, look, man, they filled out the lawsuit wrong. Just drop the whole thing. We don't need to go under oath. We don't need to do this. I'm going to guess that's the side that's being dishonest. But let's see what Chris Hubbard has to say. Again, he's the current city administrator that the Three Stooges hired on after they intimidated the other candidates. Yeah, that happened. I just have to keep telling you this stuff over and over because the sheriff doesn't give a damn about criminality among public officials. In fact, their office told me so. This is why we're not going to go after public corruption anymore, Bernie, because, you know, people start talking about how our head of the public trust unit got gifts like a motorcycle, like a Harley Davidson from our main target. It was years ago. Okay, they were good friends, and it was a gift. All right, you're going to start talking about all that. If that's going to be all over Facebook, we're not arresting anybody else. Okay, we'll just go after druggies again and whatever. People who steal AirPods, you know, we'll really focus. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. This is what was posted today, 7 hours ago. All right, let me see if I can make this bigger. Nah, would you stop already with? I'm trying to zoom it in. Okay. All right, I want you to be able to see it. So this was written today by the current city administrator, Chris Hubbard. He was put in. His girlfriend is the accountant who quit abruptly right after Michelle Miller upset Al Cathy in that election. She quit, and then she started working part-time as a consultant, and she was, sort of making sure that she was overseeing the finances, all the financial paperwork. And then when the city administrator and assistant city administrator hauled ass out of there a few months later, to go to Crystal River, Florida, and do the same thing. Then the three amigos said, we need to get a city administrator. Let's get the guy that used to be the city administrator back around 2010, 2014 for Al Cathy. Let's bring in Chris Hubbard. Isn't he the boyfriend of the lady now watching over the finances? Yeah, that's the point. So here's what he posted today. Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you all had a great and safe Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, I am posting today because several people have asked me to respond to the Mayor Miller, Facebook post, first image below, claiming she does not have access to the financials and other documents of the city. I have tried my best, says Chris Hubbard, done all I could to not address this issue publicly, but this lie has been spread for far too long and continues to divide the public. My goal in making this post is to be fully forthcoming and hopefully put this issue to rest once and for all. I'll tell you what I hope for is the same thing, because Chris Hubbard and I have the same objective, the city administrator. I, too, want full transparency, only I want it under oath. And that way, when Chris Hubbard is under oath on the stand and for an evidentiary hearing, and all of them are, then maybe we can, everybody can make some progress. So I'm with you on that one, Chris. In the second image below, it shows the mayor has full read-only access, as do all the elected officials, as shown by the council display group, to the Springbook software. That is the software company I was telling you about, the accounting company. This screenshot was taken by me today. The third image shows an email sent from Doug Baber, the former city administrator, to the mayor on June 23rd, informing her that she has full access. The fourth image shows the user access report that Doug, the former administrator, sent to Mayor Miller, along with the email to show that she had full access to the Springbrook software. Now, let's just assume, all right, let's this is what they do in these kind of things, in these evidentiary hearings, in these kind of legal issues. Sometimes case law will require, and I don't know if that's this case or not, but sometimes, I'm going to play this game. Sometimes it requires that the judge consider in the best light what the city is saying. Let's just say that in the best light, if Chris Hubbard is 100% right and Mayor Miller's wrong, does that settle the issue? Well, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at what the city charter says. All right. The city charter, remember, says, look at this. There it is. The mayor shall be the chief elected administrative and fiscal official of the city. See that? So let's play a little game. Let's say that Doug Baber, the former city administrator, and Chris Hubbard have given Michelle Miller and every other councilman access that they find appropriate, read-only access of whatever they're allowed to see. Let's just say that's true. Does he have that authority? Does he have that authority? Is he the chief elected administrative and fiscal official of the city? It would seem to me that that person would decide who gets what access. not the helper, not the city administrator, but the CFO. Right? Do you see that? Shall be the, not among the, but the chief elected administrative and fiscal official of the city. All right, so that's like the constitution of the city. But you got to buy. Yeah, but Bernie, it's a living, breathing charter. Yeah, yeah. Let's see it all under oath. I can't wait. And then Chris Hubbard goes on. In the second image below, it shows that the mayor. Okay, I read that part, and you can read this on. Look at all the screenshots. Look at everything yourself at the Mexico Beach government Facebook page. Chris Hubbard says the fifth image is a similar email I sent to the mayor on September 7th, explaining that she had full access. I'd given it to her. And the sixth image is the user access report I printed and included in the email. What gives you the authority, dude? I've told her, and here's proof that who the hell are you? You're the city administrator. You're not the boss. It's unbelievable. Here's proof that I told her I've given certain access. I've got full access. I've got the key. Who's got the other one? My sweetheart, I think. I think. All right, this is going exactly the way I wanted it to go, by the way. Evidentiary hearing, next stop. Okay, that should be like a whistleblower stop, like a whistle stop. We need a train noise. Beep! Next stop, evidentiary hearing. Chris, aren't you getting off? What about you? Adrian Welly, I'm going back to Minnesota. Not till after this. You've been subpoenaed, Jack. That's what I want to see. I'll be there too. Oh, I will be there and I'll be recording it. I'll be with my camera because that's a state court. Unless the judge says it's top secret and I can't, because I'll do whatever the judge says. Because that's what I do. I do what I'm told. All right. The seventh image is the spine of the software. Now we're getting down to it. All right. And shows the system-wide database security for, Chris has access to all this stuff, see? Not the boss. Chris is showing you all the stuff that the boss is supposed to have. Look, I'm showing the boss that I've given the boss all this stuff. Even if it were true, this is just insane. This is insane. It's the whole point of the lawsuit. They're assuming power they don't have. And they're denying authority and responsibility delegated by the charter. That's the whole point of the lawsuit. But WMBB says, no, the point of the lawsuit, Mayor Miller is asking the judge to make her the boss. Are you guys crazy, or are you on the take or just incompetent? The hell? All right, so Chris Hubbard says, look, all the accounts payable, they're both read-only. I've given her read-only access. Okay, I've got all access. I can change stuff, but she's got read-only access. That's what I've given her for the elected officials, for all of them. They're all, I guess, under him. These are the two areas to which the mayor repeatedly claims she does not have access, even though she clearly does, according to the software. He has read and write access, by the way. Now, with all this evidence being provided to the mayor over the last 6 months, why is she still making these claims? I'll tell you why, Chris. Because she wants to go under oath in front of the judge, and she wants you to as well. That's why. Not too hard to figure that one out. Yeah, but Bernie, you're Bernie the attorney. You know this stuff, okay? First and probably most importantly, he already said she lied in this. The mayor doesn't realize. Mayor Miller does not realize, because he knows everything. He's like Adrian Welly. The city did not, capital letters, he's serious, did not scan invoices and other items into the Springbrook software. Like all databases, Springbrook only contains the information created or fed into it. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. That's why we want to take a look a little bit closer, Chris. That's why we want, by the way, That's why we want this. A forensic audit. That's why we want it. And they are, by the way, the state's coming into audit. We want that. And we're going to get it. Oh, yeah, man. These are acts of desperation. These kind of things right here. This is plausible deniability. This is so that he can eventually say to the FBI or to the judge or to the state auditors, Mr. Responsibility here, these people are still almost 2 years late on their audits, on their annual audits, these people that are lecturing us. This is my favorite line of all. Like all databases, Springbrook only contains the information created or fed into it. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, my, I cannot believe this. This is why when you're on the losing side of a lawsuit, I take that back because sometimes the wrong people win. When you're on the wrong side of a lawsuit, this is why. But see, narcissists can't help themselves. They think they're smarter than everybody else. He wrote that. If invoices from outside vendors are not scanned into the software system, the actual physical image of the invoice won't be there. Only the data information input into the system at the time in order for the city to print the check and pay the invoice. That there's no statutory requirement. The law doesn't say we have to scan and input invoices into the software system. That's just a good business practice. And the city complies with the Florida statutes by keeping the physical copies required for the retention period. Look at this. Oh my God, that's so dumb. This is so dumb. I cannot believe. I don't know, man. Mexico Beach, like, I've been doing this for a while, right? With local government officials. And there's some local government officials, not a lot, but there's some who are pretty bright. Robert Carroll's a smart guy. He's the county commissioner who's also the engineer of record for the St. Joe Company and a lot of these big projects. He was, I don't want to get sidetracked. County commissioner, Mr. Conflict of Interest himself, Robert Carroll, smart dude, smarter than I am. Really, I know when people are. Actually, I'm probably barely above average. I have my own little weird gifts, but I'm not that bright. I just think a lot, look for stuff, that's it. But that's enough. But me, average guy, I go to Mexico Beach, and I'm telling you, I've never seen dumber people. And maybe it's because they just were a sleepy little place, that all of a sudden got $100 million of FEMA money. But I walk in there and I mean, again, the reason I called, I'm going to show you the longer version if I have it. Do I have the 20-second version of I do. Bernie, you say they're dumb. It's pretty ugly of you. You don't have to be ugly. You have to make it personal. This kind of stuff they tell me. So, okay, I'm just going to give you this 1-minute example. Early on, when Michelle Miller became the mayor, and they didn't want to give her all the stuff that they claim they've given her, okay? This is what Councilman Jerry Smith says to her. It's a minute long. Are you ready? You're going to be dumber after hearing this. This is Jerry Bad Liability Smith.
Access to the file. I don't like that. I think whatever you want, I believe you ought to. And then I got all the literature like you got that says our administrator, you can ask him for what you want.
And I did.
And he can give you what you want, not access to the files or whatever you're looking for in the computer system. He'll get it for you and cross out everything that shouldn't be put out there to the public.
Again.
Ma'am, I'm not through, please. I checked in on it. Please. Thank you. And it's a very much a liability, bad liability, and I give you some, for instance, too, that it could leak out, get a contract with another contractor, get out that information, and then the city will be liable. And now, the way we got it now is Doug will be liable for that. and not the city council meeting. I do not think
So that's bad liability, Jerry Smith. All right. He says just leave it up to Doug or to Chris Hubbard to give you the stuff and to cross it out is a bad liability. And I actually have a response. I have a recorded response. Mayor Miller responded, and this is an exact quote.
Come on. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
That's an exact quote from Mayor Miller. All right, let me finish what Chris Hubbard was saying today. To sum it up, he says, Mayor Miller can't see these items because they don't exist in the Springbrook software. Not because anyone is hiding anything and not because she doesn't have access to the software. This is the reason why Michelle Lucas, the last finance director that they got rid of quick, claimed in her sworn statement. See, she actually gives a sworn statement. None of these guys have given a sworn statement yet. That the mayor was not given full access, and neither was Michelle Lucas, she said, and could only see items in Springbrook going back to 2019, but not further back. Page 7 of her statement shown in the 8th image below. Look, these guys, this is what's funny. They're making their legal case. This is now, this is what they're going to say in the evidentiary hearing. And it is contradicted by reality. There's always, Bernie, it's a fact that we did none of these after two. I know that's a fact. I got it. But that doesn't tell the story. That doesn't have context. That doesn't take into account what the charter says. Facts are one thing. The truth can be another. Why? Because the truth is a big umbrella under which you find facts. But facts don't always tell the whole story. However, okay, I said that party. Each time, okay, I've informed her we can make copies. I can make copies. I can give you whatever you want, Mayor. I can give that. I've got them all. I'll make copies. I'll give them to you. What the hell gives you that authority? That's her job, man. You should be asking her what you're allowed to see. That's the whole point of the lawsuit. Damn, these people are. Some of them are dumb and look dumb. Some of them are dumber than they think they are. They think they're brilliant. Adrian Welly is smart. I know because he tells us all the time. Chris Hubbard thinks he is so much smarter than everybody else. I thought he was smarter. But this is not bright. This is really not. This is desperate, it looks like to me. All right, so I told her I'd give her what she wanted, but she's refused my offer. Again, think about this. Like he's the one offering? What makes you the one that makes offers? Are you the boss? Nope. Most recently, she told me 2 weeks ago that she did not want the physical copies and didn't want the employees to get the items for her. She told us Chris, hold on. The employees have access to it. They can get it for her. So all you guys decide what she gets to see? Noted. I want to emphasize again, please do, man, that everything the city does is public records, and everyone, the general public and elected officials, can have anything they want except for items covered by the Privacy Act, he says. And there's, again, truth to that, right? There is truth to that. But you got to trust Chris Hubbard. These idiots were just the council members. They were telling her when she first got there that she didn't have to see it for herself, that she should just rely on the reports printed out by Doug Baber. If anyone has any questions, and hats off for this one. Look, he put his phone number. I'll let you look at it. If you want more information, feel free to ask me or call me. Here's even my cell phone. So you got to give, I think, you got to give him respect for that. Chris Hubbard deserves respect for that. Because, tell you what, most officials won't do that. There are a few who do, and even the ones I don't trust, like him, I respect that at least. All right. I mean, this is amazing, right? I mean, this is a big deal. this stuff. I didn't eat the cookies. You ate the cookies. Plus, I told you I'd give you any cookies you want. Wait, all of a sudden, you've got jurisdiction over the cookies? How did you become the boss of the cookie jar? You see, this is a technique that they do. They start the story in the middle, and they start the story as, I have access and control of the cookie jar. I decide how much access you get. And let me tell you all, I've offered a lot of it to her, okay? I've offered her a lot of the stuff in here. But she says she doesn't want it. Who made you the one that offers? The chief elected fiscal official of the city is the person that decides who gets what out of the cookie jar. And it's according to state statute and the charter, and in that order, according to the rules of construction, that legal doctrine that I cannot wait for the evidentiary hearing. Let's hear everybody under oath. I could be wrong. And you know me, if I'm wrong, I'll light it up and turn on the lights and hit the camera and say, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. I was wrong. Now, thank God, I'm not on the wrong path because I don't want to be there. I've done that before. Not very often, actually. I've got a pretty good record. But if I'm wrong, I tell you I'm wrong. A couple of them have been embarrassing, actually. Some of them, I had to call people and apologize over since 2015. I'm talking about maybe a handful. It happens, right? And a couple of those people, we've become friends. Really, I'd say not friends, like we don't call each other and wish each other a happy birthday. But we talk back and forth, and we're fond of each other, and I like it. So let's just all get under oath and have a judge review it. Let's do that. I think that's more. I think we're going to get further with that than a post with capital letters. That's what I'm saying to you. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. I want to thank, of course, those of you who support my efforts, and I want to thank the Unknown Patriot for your support to help me do this and pay for the Liberty Lounge, keep the lights going, and turn it all on, right? And, of course, to those of you who throw a tip in the jar, not the cookie jar, the tip jar. And you can do that, too, if you'd like to support my independent efforts. As little as $5 a month, best money you can spend on the internet. Patreon.com/Bernie Thompson. It's free. It's free. It's $5 a month. It's easy. It's anonymous. And you can quit at any time. All right. Thanks for being with me, and I will see you soon.